Mental health, it really is a big reason people call in sick. With worker burnout at record highs, Bastyr University psychology professor Dr. Jennifer Pfeuffer says there's a smart way to take that mental health day. Now, it's good to have you back, Dr. Pfeuffer. Now, if we're taking a mental health day, it seems like a new thing, but is it really?
Thanks for having me back. No, it's not really a new thing. However, before we just used to lie about it and say we were physically sick. What's nice is that the conversations are being more open and we're feeling more comfortable to advocate for ourselves when we're just at a point of burnout. And, if we look at just the conversations across the world that are going on around mental health, especially the last 2 years, we're seeing pro athletes come out and talk about this and say, I've reached burnout, I need to pull back. There's a recent study, 34% of pro athletes are struggling currently with depression, anxiety. And so I think that this is wonderful to have this conversation and to be able to be honest about it.
And it's probably good to see some more people being more outspoken about it for sure. Now, what are some of the signs that we may need a mental health day? If people are just trying to power through things, how do we know if we need one?
Yeah, I think what's really important is to acknowledge that for the past 2 years, we really have been functioning from an anxiety level, maybe even a high functioning anxiety level. We're trying to hold it all together during this pandemic. And really, we only have so many resources until we burn out. And so thinking about ourselves, we probably know what our unique burnout looks like. But to just give you some examples, it really is a spectrum. So for some people, it could be we're more agitated. We are, more conflictual with relationships. We are just agitated to the point of blowing up. We're just burnt out and frustrated. And then on the other end of it, it could be a feeling of isolation, not even being able to identify our feelings and our emotions, kind of going numb. And this could really impact our relationships. And so thinking about our warning signs being on a spectrum, and for each of us, how different that's going to be, but how important it is to know whenever we're reaching that point so that we don't explode and we can get support and help that we need.
And Jennifer, for our awesome King 5 viewers watching this morning, if they're realizing I do need a mental health day, how do you recommend them spending that mental health day?
Yeah, I think it's really important to think about how am I going to spend maybe these 8-10 hours. And I have 3 suggestions. The first one is to physically take a mental health break. And what I mean by that is sleep in, get some good rest, restorative food, even take a nap on the couch, read a book, really just kind of calm everything down. So calming the body, calming the mind, and just having a really relaxing, restful day. I think that can be really restorative for many of us. And then the second thing I would think about with a mental health day off is to just catch up on errands. Just go out and do those tasks that maybe we've been putting off. Cross things off a list always feels pretty good. It gives us a sense of control, and when we have that control, the anxiety seems to go down a little bit as well. So again, a catch-up day can be really nice for people. And then thirdly, I would say have an exploration day. And what I mean by that is maybe there's something that you've been putting off personally. Maybe it's a spiritual journey. Maybe it's relationships that you've not connected to in a long time. And really a day off can be a really nice way for us to tap into those relationships, to maybe explore a new life path, just take time for ourselves. Because I think, especially if we're on the front line of any kind of helping service or on the front line, or new parents, for example, we're used to checking in with other people, but how often are we used to checking in with ourselves? And so I think getting back to that is going to be really helpful and really help us to feel restorative and better with our mental health.
Absolutely. So an actual focus on you, staying off the cell phone, focusing on other things, just focus on you for that mental health day. Dr. Jennifer Pfeuffer with Bastyr University, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back.